Stars were supposed to be humanity's future. Commander Nathan Cole stood on the bridge of the USV Washington, staring at the endless swirl of the galactic core beyond the viewport. The council hall floated somewhere in that abyss, a massive station of glass and crystal, the heart of the so-called Galactic Alliance. Once, Nathan had looked at that station with awe. Now, every time he saw its light, a cold rage stirred in him. "All hands are reporting in, sir," said Lieutenant Grace Turner, her voice clipped but steady. "We're the last ship cleared to dock. The council insists your presence is mandatory." "Mandatory," Nathan repeated, almost spitting the word. His jaw tightened as he turned to face his crew. They want to make it official. The vote. The sanctions. The accusations. They'll smile while they strip us of everything. He could feel the weight of 100 eyes on him, the bridge crew, veterans of a dozen colonies. They had bled together during the Zorith incursions, lost friends and family defending council worlds that would have burned if not for Earth's fleets. And this was the thanks they got. Nathan straightened his shoulders. Prepare to dock. The Washington eased into position beside the council hall, magnetic clamps locking the warship into place. Nathan and his senior officers walked the gleaming corridors of the station, their boots echoing on polished crystal floors. Aliens of every species turned to look at them, some with curiosity, most with contempt. Humanity had been the upstart race, the younglings of the stars, barely a century past first contact. But humans were also the reason half the galaxy wasn't speaking Zorith right now. When Nathan entered the council chamber, the air was heavy with tension. The chamber was enormous, a domed arena filled with tiered platforms. Delegates of 100 worlds stared down from their lofty perches. At the center floated the Speaker of the Council, a thin, insectal creature with translucent wings. "Commander Cole of Earth," the speaker's voice clicked through the translator nodes. "Humanity has been summoned to answer for its crimes." Nathan's fists clenched. "Crimes? Our fleets have been defending council worlds for 20 years. Our colonies have been taxed and starved to keep this alliance supplied. What crime have we committed, other than carrying this entire damned galaxy on our backs?" A murmur swept through the chamber. Some of the delegates looked uncomfortable. Others sneered. The speaker's wings twitched. "The Council has determined that humanity's actions during the war violated Article 12 of the Galactic Accords. You used banned weapons, unauthorized AI targeting systems, and committed orbital bombardment against Zorith population centers." Nathan stepped forward, voice ringing. "We were losing. The Zorith burned 6 of our colonies to ash, civilians. We did what we had to do to stop them. And in doing so," the speaker said, "you have made yourselves a danger to the balance of the galaxy. By unanimous vote, humanity is hereby stripped of council membership. All human colonies are to be demilitarized. Your fleets are to be dismantled. Your shipyards will be seized." The words hit Nathan like a blow. "You can't be serious," he said quietly. "Without our fleets, the Zorith will come back. You know they will. You're condemning every human world to death. Earth's aggression cannot be tolerated," the speaker replied. Nathan stared up at the tiers of delegates, the cold faces, the gleaming eyes, and for the first time in his life, he saw no allies there at all. Humanity had no friends left. When the session adjourned, Nathan and his officers walked out in silence. Back aboard the Washington, Grace Turner finally spoke. "They've already started moving ships toward Mars," she said, pulling up the latest reports. "Occupation fleets. They're not just demilitarizing us. They're taking everything." Nathan looked at the stars, and for a moment he let the silence stretch. "They think we'll kneel," he said at last. "They think we'll just hand over our worlds, our families, everything we built." He turned to his crew, his voice cold and steady. "Send word to Earth Command. Every ship, every carrier, every fighter we have left, tell them to disappear." Grace frowned. "Disappear, sir?" "Scatter. Go dark. Hide in asteroid belts, nebulae, deep space. Whatever it takes. When they come for us, there won't be anything left to seize." The order went out within the hour. Across human space, fleets vanished like smoke on the wind. The council ships arrived to find empty docks, silent colonies, stripped shipyards. Humanity had vanished into the void. And in the darkness, something was gathering. Nathan stood on the bridge weeks later, listening to the encrypted transmissions flooding in from the hidden flotillas. Engineers working around the clock in secret dry docks. Prototypes being activated that had been mothballed for decades. The last war had been fought by desperate men with outdated ships. The next war would be fought with monsters. Nathan watched the data scroll across the screen and felt a grim smile touch his lips. They betrayed us, he said softly. And now they think they've won. He turned toward the viewport, toward the distant glow of the council hall. They have no idea what's coming. The galaxy thought humanity had been broken. 4 months, council broadcasts declared victory over the human menace. Propaganda filled the channels, Earth's warships had been dismantled, its admirals removed from power, its colonies now protected under council supervision. Alien traders whispered that humans had been put back in their place, that the young race had been humbled. But Nathan Cole knew the truth. The Washington drifted in the shadow of a dead moon, its running lights dark. All around it, the hidden fleet was growing. Every week, more ships arrived from their hiding places, not in parade formation, but in fragments and pieces, rebuilt in secret. The Valkyrie, a massive dreadnought that had been scheduled for decommission, now gleamed with experimental plasma lances. The Dauntless and Monroe had been stripped down to their skeletons and rebuilt with stealth plating. Even the old colony freighters were being retrofitted with railguns and missile pods. And deep inside an asteroid hangar, something far more dangerous was awakening. Nathan stood in the cavernous chamber, his boots crunching on metal grating. Before him loomed a monster, a ship unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. The Aegis. The Aegis was the culmination of every weapons program the Council had banned. An Earth supercarrier designed in secret after the first Zorith invasion, heavily armored, bristling with guns, equipped with AI-assisted targeting that could outthink entire fleets. Its construction had been halted after the Council threatened sanctions. Now it was fully armed, fueled, and waiting for orders. How soon can she sail? Nathan asked. Chief Engineer Laura Hayes ran a hand across the glowing status console. Another week and we'll have all her systems synced. But, Commander, she hesitated. If we launch the Aegis, there's no going back. This won't just be a show of force. It'll be war. Nathan's face hardened. The war never ended, Laura. The Council just changed the rules. News from Earth was grim. Council occupation fleets patrolled orbit, enforcing curfews, confiscating weapons, dismantling shipyards piece by piece. There were rumors of protests being crushed on Mars, of disappearances on Titan. Nathan sat in the Washington's briefing room with his senior officers. A holographic projection of the Sol system rotated above the table, bright with enemy markers. They're choking us, said Grace Turner, pointing at the display. Every supply line is under their control. If we wait too long, we won't have the resources to fight back. Captain Derek Vance of the Dauntless leaned forward. Then we hit them first. Hard. Make them pull back and rethink this occupation. Nathan shook his head. If we go in too soon, they'll just crush us. We have to strike where it hurts, their pride, their security. Something that shows the whole galaxy we're not beaten. Silence fell as they all stared at the map. Finally, Grace spoke. The Council Hall. The words hung in the air like a live wire. You're suggesting we attack the seat of galactic government? Vance asked. I'm suggesting we remind them what it feels like to be afraid, Grace replied. Nathan looked from one face to another. He saw no fear there, only determination. All right, he said. We launch in 2 weeks. Every ship we have, every weapon. We take the Aegis at the head of the fleet. When we arrive, we're not there to talk. 2 weeks later, the hidden flotilla emerged from darkness. One by one, the human ships powered up, their engines burning blue against the void. Hundreds of vessels, warships, frigates, stealth destroyers, converted freighters formed up around the Aegis like wolves circling their alpha. On the bridge of the Washington, Nathan watched the fleet status reports scroll across his console. "All ships reporting combat ready," Grace said quietly. Nathan stood, his hand resting on the edge of the tactical table. "Then it's time." The jump coordinates were already plotted. The fleet's FTL drive spooled up in perfect synchrony, humming like the deep breath of some sleeping beast. "Signal the fleet," Nathan ordered. "Burn the sky." The stars stretched, twisted, and then the fleet was gone. When they emerged from hyperspace, the council hall glittered ahead of them, serene and unsuspecting. "Multiple council security pickets detected," the sensor officer reported. "Frigates, corvettes, some defense platforms. Nothing that can stop us," Nathan said. "All ships holding formation," Grace added. "They're hailing us." Nathan ignored the incoming transmissions. "Bring the Aegis forward." The supercarrier slid into position at the center of the fleet, her massive hull dwarfing everything around her. For a moment, the chamber was silent except for the sound of breathing. "Open fire," Nathan said. The first salvo came from the Aegis. Her broadside lit up the darkness, beams of searing plasma crossing the void. The defense platforms shattered instantly, molten fragments spinning into space. Human destroyers darted ahead, launching swarms of missiles. Council frigates scrambled to respond, but they were torn apart in minutes. The Dauntless and Monroe cut through the formation like predators, their stealth plating allowing them to strike from unexpected angles. Within 10 minutes, the council hall's entire defensive screen was gone. And still, the human fleet advanced. Nathan stood at the viewport, watching the great crystal spires of the hall grow closer. The time for messages was over. The galaxy needed to see what betrayal cost. "Transmit to all ships," he said quietly. "Target the council hall's power grid. Disable their shields." And then, he hesitated just long enough for every person on the bridge to feel the weight of the moment. "Then we burn it down." The council hall was a jewel in the void, and now it was burning. Nathan Cole stood at the center of the Washington's bridge as the first strike landed. The Aegis's plasmolances cut through the hall's shields like paper, raking across the crystal spires and shattering them into drifting shards. Fires erupted along the station's equatorial ring. "Shields down across the entire station," Grace Turner reported, her voice low but steady. "They're broadcasting distress calls to every system within 50 light-years." "Let them scream," Nathan said. Across the fleet, human warships unleashed hell. Railgun rounds punched through the hall's superstructure. Missile salvos struck the power grid, tearing open entire sections to the vacuum of space. On the council's internal channels, chaos reigned. Nathan watched intercepted feeds, alien delegates shouting, panicked security forces scrambling, emergency bulkheads slamming shut one after another. The same politicians who had voted to dismantle Earth's fleets were now trapped in their shining palace with no way out. "Commander," Captain Derek Vance's voice came over the calm and sharp, Central Command spire is exposed. "We can finish this now." Nathan hesitated, his hands gripping the edge of the console. He could end the war in seconds, but this was more than revenge. The galaxy was watching. "Patch me into their open channel," he said. Grace nodded and tapped the controls. "You're live." Nathan's voice echoed across every surviving screen in the council hall. "This is Commander Nathan Cole of Earth's fleet. You stripped us of our rights. You tried to disarm us. You occupied our homes and called it peace. Tonight, you learn what it means to betray humanity." He let the silence hang for a beat, then spoke the words that would be remembered for centuries. "Withdraw your fleets from every human world. Rescind every sanction. Surrender your control over our colonies, or this station dies." The response came almost instantly. The council speaker's insectal face appeared on the viewscreen, wings twitching frantically. "You dare threaten the council hall," the speaker hissed. "You will doom every." Nathan cut the transmission with a flick of his hand. "They had their chance," he said quietly. "Targeting solution locked," Grace reported. Nathan gave the order. Fire! The Aegis unleashed her full broadside. Beams of plasma struck the central spire, tearing through it in a blaze of white light. The explosion was blinding, the shockwave scattering debris for kilometers. When the glare faded, the once proud heart of the Galactic Council was gone, replaced by a field of wreckage and fire. A hush fell over the bridge. Even the hum of the consoles seemed muted. Transmission from multiple systems, Grace said at last, her voice almost reverent. Council fleets are retreating. Everywhere. Nathan closed his eyes for a moment, letting the tension drain from his body. The message had been delivered, and the galaxy had heard it. Hours later, the human fleet drifted in formation, holding position over the ruins. Fires still burned across the shattered station, casting a grim glow over the wreckage. In the briefing room, Nathan stood with his senior officers, their faces lit by the holographic displays of retreating enemy markers. "It's over," Captain Vance said finally. "No," Nathan replied. "This was just the opening act. They won't forget what we did here, and they won't forgive it. The galaxy is going to come for us, harder than ever." Grace folded her arms. "Then we'll be ready for them. This time, we fight on our terms." Nathan looked at her, then off the viewport at the drifting shards of the council hall. The galaxy would call this a war crime. They would say humanity had gone rogue, become a threat to galactic stability. Maybe they were right. But tonight, every human world was free. "Signal the fleet," he said. "Set course for Sol. We're going home." The fleet turned as one, engines flaring. The Aegis took point, leading them back toward the cradle of humanity. As the stars shifted and the wreckage of the council hall faded into the distance, Nathan allowed himself one final thought. They had wanted humanity broken. Instead, they had forged something far more dangerous, a united race, armed and unafraid. And the galaxy would never forget the night Earth's fleet descended in fire.